Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel, and here we have one of the guitars that really helped launch my channel and also get it through my thick skull that people wanted affordable guitars. Yes, this is a 338 semi-hollow body guitar from Firefly. Now, I'll tell you right now, this is not the original one from way back in 2017. 2017, if you can believe that. This is not the original guitar, but this is the brand new version, but of that exact same guitar. The Firefly 338 in the transparent red finish with the chrome hardware, set neck, just beautiful. And I thought that I'd get one of these new ones and just kind of revisit this guitar, kind of check on it, see how it's doing. What is that, 7 years later? It's incredible to think that that much time has gone by. But I went back and checked, and it was December 24th, kind of funny, 2017, when I put that video out, and over 700,000 people have watched that video at this point. I had the guitar a little bit before that, but I put the video out then, and I remember back then checking the video a few days after that and seeing the analytics just spike up. And that was honestly, it was a video that combined a lot of things all in one moment for me. It was my first Firefly guitar review. I think it introduced Firefly to a lot of people watching the channel now. It got my channel in front of a whole bunch of new viewers, and it also really dialed in the focus of the Guitar Max channel, where before that I was like, well, I'll just review really cool, expensive, exotic guitars that cost thousands of dollars. And I was doing that stuff. And, you know, not really that many people found it interesting because, well, it wasn't a guitar that they were going to play. But back then, I think it was $141 guitar that you could buy off of Amazon and was actually pretty cool. Well, a lot of people were interested in that. And the rest is history. So that was 7 years ago. And obviously a lot of things have changed since then. They have made a bunch of refinements to the guitar. The body shape has changed slightly, in particular with these upper horns here. They made them a little rounder. Also some of the construction things, the shape of the neck, of course the way they do these frets, they using the rounded ball end stainless steel frets now on this guitar. And for being totally honest, the price has gone up. You can't get these guitars for 140 bucks anymore, but they're still very, very affordable. If you look on the Guitarist Garden website right now, these go for like $220, $219, $220. And considering that they have both made upgrades to these guitars, like the frets in particular, but when you also consider how much other brands of guitars have gone up in price, they've done a really good job, I think, of keeping the prices low on these guitars. Now this one here, right, is the latest model, but of their classic version. So it's the transparent red finish, the chrome hardware, and the stop tailpiece. But they have other versions. They've done these spalted maple tops. They've done some with Bigsby style trims. They've done some with gold hardware and so forth. And there's a few other versions on the Guitarist Garden website right now. But it's been cool to see the sort of evolution of this overall design down through the years, and how Firefly has experimented with different versions of it, different colors, different ways of doing the frets, different neck profiles, and just different refinements. But to my knowledge, this model continues to be one of their most popular guitars. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit more playing on this guitar, and just so you know, I'm using my Boss GTX 100 amplifier. That's about a $500 amplifier, digital modeling stuff. So I'm not using thousands of dollars of expensive studio gear to make this guitar sound better than it really is or anything like that. And of course, I'm going to have links for all this stuff down in the video description below. But anyway, let me do a little bit more playing. Of course, guys, real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, checking out cool new affordable guitars and staying up on all the latest news in the guitar universe, and you've not already subscribed, please consider subscribing right now. And of course, stick around after the playing, because there's some more things I want to talk about with this guitar. In particular, some of the changes they've made over the years, and if it's been all good or if there have been a few things that I kind of preferred about the older models, and I want to hear from you as well. But anyway, let's go ahead and plug this in and listen to how it sounds. Okay guys, let's talk a little bit more about this guitar. So the playability, I can say, has improved on these guitars, and that is really down to the frets. You know, they're using the stainless steel rounded ball end frets, and there's always a little trick with these frets. I've mentioned this many times before, but the frets are slightly undersized in terms of the width of the neck, or the width of the fretboard, I should say. So you never have any problems where the edges of the frets are going past the fretboard, where you get sharp fret ends. Between the roundness of the end and the fact that the frets are always a tiny bit short, you never have problems with that, and I love that. And it just makes for a really, really smooth, easy playing fretboard. Something though, I will say, that I think I may have preferred about the older versions of this 338 guitar, and this might be controversial, but let me know what you think down in the comment section below. The neck profile has changed on these guitars, and originally the necks were just a little bit thinner. I think that it wasn't just the thinness, but the profile. This is a little bit more of a C shape, and I want to say it used to be like a thin C shape, or even a little bit of a D shape, where it was a little flatter on the back. And certainly it overall was just a little bit thinner. I mean, we're talking a millimeter, certainly not more than 2 millimeters thinner. And unfortunately, I don't have that first original guitar anymore. I wish I could take some measurements and do some comparisons, but that was a really, really wonderful feeling neck profile. But it had the old style frets, for sure, and these frets are definitely superior. So I like these frets, but I think I prefer the older neck profile, I should say. But look, tell me, you Firefly fans that are out there watching this video, I know a lot of you have had these 338 semi-hollow body guitars over the years. Tell me, what do you think about it? You know, compare an old one from like 5 years ago to one that you've gotten in maybe the last 2 years. What are the differences like to you? Do you like all of the changes they've made? What do you think? And I think, honestly, of all the stuff, like brands that I have consistently checked out over the years, this one is number one. This is probably the brand that I've covered the most. I think I've done more Firefly videos than anything else. And the second thing is that I think this is the kind of the longest recurring character on my channel here. I think the Firefly guitars, you know, the AIO Wolf guitars I checked out pretty early as well, and I'm still all about those guitars as well, but I think Firefly was earlier. I think I started checking out these a little bit earlier. Seeing the development of these guitars, seeing the brand grow, and seeing the love for these guitars grow over the years has been really awesome. And I hope just to see more of that in the future. Now, I know a lot of you are probably wondering, or have been wondering, what do I do with all of these guitars? Because, like, how many of these Firefly guitars have I checked out? It's a big number. No, of course, I don't still have all of them. I mean, if I just had to guess off the top of my head, I mean, 30, 40 guitars, just Firefly guitars, something like that. A few of the guitars I donated actually to the Boys and Girls Club here in the Los Angeles area. Now, I stopped doing that actually because the CEO was being investigated for embezzlement, so I stopped donating to that. But the other thing is, there's a guy I know who is a professor, like a music professor slash teacher at colleges and so forth in the area. And a lot of the time, he will need instruments that the students can play or practice with at the school. And like especially these semi-hollow body guitars work really, really well for that. So I'll sell the guitars, you know, very, very cheap, you know, $25 or something like that. So they can then go to the students, or they can stay at the school there for whoever needs them. And then a few of them over the years, you guys have seen the videos in the past, I use for crazy video ideas where I cut them in half and see what they're made out of. Things like that. But a lot of them I do still have. In fact, so just on this wall behind me, I've got four. Another one you can't see, but I've got one of the older style single cut LP guitars mounted on the wall over here. I've got the double neck. I've got that tucked away in my closet. So a lot of them I do still have. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my back catalog of videos and figure out the exact number, exactly how many Firefly videos I have done over the years. And then I think I'm going to go through them all and come up with maybe a top 10 or maybe even a top 6, what my favorite ones were over the years, and then put that out as a new video. I think that'd be pretty cool. Okay guys, but look, there it is. It was a great guitar 7 years ago, and the latest version of it is still great in 2025, coming up soon into 2026. So of course I'm going to have links for all this stuff down in the video description below, the guitar as well as the amp that I was using in the demo, plus all of my instructional material, my YouTube online course, social media, blah, blah, blah. That's all in the video description. But again, let me know down in the comments section, did you get one of these guitars, let's say pre-COVID? Did you get one of these semi-hollow body style guitars like this one? And then did you get one later on? Were you able to make that comparison? If so, what did you think? That'd be really cool to see. Okay guys, thanks a ton for watching as usual. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you very soon.